The popularity of the internationally successful Slade has been sporadic in the United States, a close but no cigar situation. Viewed from the outside, Slade seems almost snake-bitten here in the States. Let's find out what it's like on the inside. You're getting some success now, and welcome to the program, Noddy Holder. Am I way off base in saying that, or do you feel that?
No, I think you're dead right. We've had a lot of ups and downs over here. We can't really put our finger on it why it's been like that. With our success in the rest of the world, but that's the way it's been, and we don't really know why.
And also joining us this evening is drummer Don Powell. Hello. Anything you could add to that, or do you see things as just being almost out of sync with the trends that took place here in this country?
Well, I mean, people always try and put like sort of a marker on it, but, you know, as Nod says, we don't really know ourselves. I mean, maybe the timing was wrong or whatever, you know, we just don't know.
And then to top it all off, things have been going really, really well. You've been getting great airplay throughout the country. I read an article on the LA Times. You've been written up in paper after paper, and you had to cancel the rest of the tour with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep.
Now, you have an illness in the band, which is what resulted in that.
Jimmy, the bass player, he's caught hepatitis, and it's going to lay him up for about 6 weeks, so we've had to cancel all the shows. We started off and did about 3 or 4 shows, and he was getting worse and worse every night, and so we had to decide, you know, that to call it off totally, because we didn't really want to go out and play on the road on such an important tour for us with a replacement guy in the band. After being together as the same 4 members for 18 years, it would have been totally alien playing with somebody else.
Which is remarkable when you think of it, the same members for 18 years in a rock and roll band.
It's a miracle, not remarkable.
It's a miracle. A little taste of Goodbye to Chains. Slade we're with right now on ROCKLINE on the Global Satellite Network. I'm Bob Coburn. Our first phone call tonight for Don and Noddy is Tom. He's in Tulsa, Oklahoma, listening to KMOD. Tom, you're on the show.
Thank you. What was your reaction to Quiet Riot's version of your song, Come On, Feel the Noise?
We were really pleased. About last April of last year, we got a phone call to our publishing company and asking us for a band called Quiet Riot if they could have permission to record the song, and we said, yeah, sure, it'd be great. We'd never heard of the band, and then 6 months later we saw the record storming up the American charts, and it was knockout for us, one of our songs to stand the test of time, because we released it 10 years ago, and it was a big hit all over the world for us, and it was a great feeling. Plus, we made some money out of it, which helped a lot.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
It pays the rent.
You know, the 2 versions of the song are really different. They really are. They did a different feel than what you had.
Well, obviously, when you think it's like 1983, you're 84 now, and that was released in 1973. I mean, there's a 10-year, you know, bands play a lot different now anyway, you know, the arrangements and whatever. The studio's more up to date with getting the sounds and everything. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously, it is like an up-to-date feel.
Our next phone call is from Baldwin City, Kansas, listening to KY102. We have Craig on the show. Hi, Craig.
Hi. I just want to say that I think your album's really great and everything. I think you guys are awesome. And I want to know how come we haven't heard anything from you in the past 6 or 7 years.
Well, basically, when we went back to England, we started working all over again, still recording and still going out there playing live all over Europe. But I think people considered us a little bit unfashionable, so we weren't getting any media coverage. The records weren't really getting any radio play. The press weren't taking any notice of us. But when we actually went out to perform live, the audiences were still coming to see us. We were still selling out everywhere and going down a storm everywhere we played. And that gave us the strength to carry on. And we thought, oh, times will change again when there is a niche for our sort of band, good fun rock and roll band, and we just had to bide our time until it came around again, and that's what we've been doing, really. We've still carried on working. A lot of people thought we'd split up, but we didn't.
Especially in this country, I think a lot of people thought that you would quit performing.
So did they in a lot of places in Europe as well. It was only when we actually went into the towns and performed live that they realised that we were still around and alive and kicking.
Phone call is from Downington, PA, listening to 94 YSP out of Philadelphia. We have Kevin on the program. Hi.
Hi, I was just wondering, what's keeping you guys together after 18 years? I mean, after you hear all these bands that are breaking up, I was just wondering what would keep you guys together.
Well, we've survived a lot of ups and downs. We got over all our personality crises long before we became successful. We were together 5 years before we had a hit record, playing bars and ballrooms and universities. and we got over all our personal difficulties long before that, and I think that sustained us through it when we eventually did get success. That was one of the main reasons, I think. Plus, we still enjoy getting up there together and performing in front of an audience. We still spark off one another, and that you can't beat that.
Were you mates before the band actually formed, or was it the band that got you together?
It was the band that really got us together. We did know one another. Don and Dave were the lead guitarists. They were in a band together, and they asked me and Jim to join the band, but we didn't really know one another very well before the band formed.
Let's head a little bit further northeast to New York City. 102.7 WNEW-FM, our affiliate. Tom, it's your turn.
First thing I just want to say, I think you guys are a great band, and I'm surprised that
thank you.
Popularity since
You can buy us a
up
drink.
until now. I want to ask, what would you consider touring with Quiet Riot?
Do we consider touring Quiet Riot? Yeah, I think so. If they asked us, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's it didn't bother us at all that Quiet Riot had a big hit with one of our songs. It was just a great kick for us to see a new band there taking one of our songs and putting it high up in the charts. It didn't bother us in the least. We were really pleased about it.
Think of the possibilities. You could have one band playing their last song and the stage turns and on comes the other band playing the same.
Yeah, the mind boggles.
Probably play the same set.
Actually, I've spoken to Quiet Riot a couple of times on the phone since they had the big record, and we haven't yet met them personally. When they came over to England, we were working, and we didn't get a chance to meet up, but I've spoken to them on the phone a couple of times. They seem like real nice blokes.
They're good guys. Let's take another call. Philadelphia again, WYSP. Bob, hi.
Hi, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. First of all, I'd just like to say thanks for keeping us crazy all these years.
Yahoo!
What about us? You said it, Noddy. Also, I hope to see you here in Philly pretty soon. And what I wanted to ask was, can we expect the same flashy Slade that we've always been used to seeing?
You certainly can, yes.
Okay. And secondly, do you feel largely responsible for the current, as you used to put it, get your rumps up at concert feelings?
I wouldn't say we were personally responsible for it. I think we made our mark in a certain era, and I think we were an influence on a lot of the new bands that are coming out now. We get a lot of the new bands coming to see us at shows and coming backstage after the show and saying that we were one of the first bands that they ever saw play live, and that we did influence them in a way of getting a band together and going out and having a lot of fun on stage, which is what Slade always been about. We don't like there to be a barrier between us and the audience. We like the audience to be involved totally in the show and to make as much noise as possible as part of the band's sound. And I think a lot of bands have followed suit and, have followed our pattern in that way. But I don't think we're sort of responsible for this new resurgence of heavy rock. But we'd like to think that we made our mark on the history of rock and roll somewhere along the line.
And after all, it's not much fun without the audience, is it?
That's very true.
We'll be back with Noddy and Don of Slade in just a moment on ROCKLINE. Our next phone call from Linden, Michigan. WWCK in Flint is our affiliate. Mark, hi.
Oh, I just want to say I've seen these guys in concert several times, and they put on a great show.
Indeed. Thank you, Mark.
Pardon?
Thank you. It's nice of you to say.
Oh, okay. I have a question for Don.
Yeah?
I know he was in a serious car accident several years ago.
Yeah, 11 years ago, actually.
Yeah? I was wondering if you'd had any lingering effects.
Only, I still have the amnesia problem. It's like when I wake up in the morning, I just don't know where I am. But I keep a diary, so when I wake up in the morning, I know what I've done the day before and what I'm doing that particular day. And also, I lost my sense of smell and taste. I don't taste food, and I can't smell anything. It doesn't bother me, but I'm just worried about like food poisoning worries me,
Wow, incredible story. Mm-hmm. We'll move on to Westminster, California, 95.5 KLOS, our station. Tammy, you're on the show.
Oh, great. Well, my question is directed at both of you. I'm interested in producing and designing videos in the future. And the video that you did for Run, Run Away, I was wondering, where's the castle located? And also, who designs your videos? Does the band set that up, or do you have somebody who handles that for you?
Well, the castle in the video was just outside of Wales, near a town called Worcester. It's quite a new castle. It's not really an old medieval castle. From the point of view who designed the video, we did have a production company did it all for us. We wanted a sort of Scottish flavour with all kilts and tartans and that to make it give the record a Scottish flavour, which we thought because it was based around a Scottish Highland jig, and so basically that's how we did it. We relied on the production company to do it.
And thanks for the call, Tammy. I want to thank everybody else for the great calls this evening. Next week, An Evening with Yes. And coming soon, Tony Carey, Golden Earrings, Scorpions, Judas Priest, and a whole lot more. Our thanks to Dan Fogelberg and, of course, to Noddy Holder and Don Powell of Slade. And just because you're not touring right now, it doesn't mean that it's over or anything. You'll be back.
Oh, we'll be
as soon as
back.
possible.
Alive and kicking.
So look for them. They're coming to your town soon. I'm BC, and I'll be seeing you in a week on ROCKLINE. You've been listening to ROCKLINE, brought to you in part by Budweiser, the king of beers, and by Sergio Valente. ROCKLINE is directed by Mary Pat Carney. Technical and special direction by Skip Malone and Ira Lawson. Thanks to Jim Nelson and Kevin Stevens for their special help. ROCKLINE theme provided by Rincon. Our associate producer is Mark Felsot. ROCKLINE is produced by Cindy Tolan for the Global Satellite Network in association with Music Vision.
Yeah, ROCKLINE from 98 KZEW.